A divided country gets set to decide. Midterm elections loom in the US, and the biggest names in the parties are out stomping for votes. Reinstating sanctions, President Trump prepares to target Iran's oil industry with another round of tough measures. We'll get a live report from Tehran. And working at 80, why some seniors in the US are back on the job trying to make ends meet after retirement didn't quite pay off. Hello, I'm Lynda Kinkade. Welcome to CNN Newsroom. Well, this is it, the final weekend before the US midterm elections. The entire House of Representatives is up for grabs and about a third of the Senate seats. It's clear this election will be a referendum on President Trump's first 2 years in office. Big names from both sides are now in full campaign mode. The former and current presidents both out rallying their respective bases, though neither are on Tuesday's ballot. The stakes are high and the language heated. Take a listen to President Trump in Indiana on Friday.
We will fully secure the border. We will keep the criminals, drug dealers, and terrorists the hell out of our country.
Mr. Trump continues his campaign blitz today in Montana and Florida, while his predecessor, Barack Obama, is providing an alternative message.
You can choose a bigger, more prosperous, more generous vision of America. An America where love and hope conquer hate.
So, Tom Foreman there. Well, let's get some analysis from our David Swerdlick. He is a CNN political commentator as well as the assistant editor at The Washington Post. Good to have you with us, David.
Hi, Linda.
We've heard so much about a blue wave, about Democrats making a comeback, taking back the House, possibly even the Senate. We've heard President Trump saying it could happen. At this point in time, are we seeing a blue wave? What sort of shift could we see?
So, Linda, I don't think we're going to see a blue wave. What President Trump is signaling to his supporters is that this is a turnout election. There aren't a lot of minds out there to be changed. Both parties are looking at this as, can we get our voters to the polls on Tuesday? Tom gave a great breakdown there in that presentation that you just played. Democrats are feeling pretty confident, but no guarantees about taking back the House of Representatives. There's less chance that they're going to take the Senate because, as Tom said, they're defending more seats, and the seats that they're defending are in Republican-leaning states. So I think Republicans at this point are doubling down on this idea that they've got to hold the Senate, and then they're going to try and make it as hard as possible for Democrats to flip the House and make Nancy Pelosi the Speaker once again.
Right. Looking at the youth vote, we often hear that young people don't come out to vote in the midterm elections. We've got a graphic I just want to pull up, which shows that 31% of young voters say they will definitely vote this midterm election. That, of course, exceeds what we saw in the last midterm elections. If that does indeed happen, what impact could that youth vote have?
So 31% and then a total of 57% who are either definitely or likely going to vote, according to that NBC poll. If that happens, that's probably good for Democrats. Democrats are relying on a coalition of younger voters, voters of color, voters on the coast. Republicans are relying on an older, whiter, middle of America demographic. And it's going to be, again, a contest of who gets their voters out. A lot of this has hinged on turnout. Democrats' closing argument is basically, if you want to punish President Trump, turn his party out of Congress. Republicans' argument is, if you like what's going on, keep President Trump's party in control of Congress. That's what's going on, less than a debate about health care or immigration per se. It's who can stay in control or get control of government in this next election.
And David, speaking of immigration, that is certainly one issue that the president is talking about a lot, as some of his closest followers, supporters. I just want to play one ad we've seen from Tennessee, because every state has been inundated with political ads, but especially those in tight races. Let's just take a listen.
Gang members, known criminals, people from the Middle East, possibly even terrorists.
So that was from Marsha Blackburn, a Republican in Tennessee. How was that fear of immigration playing out?
So this is where Republicans think they can drive their voters out to the polls. President Trump had a sort of a similar ad that he put out earlier in the week, and then you see the Blackburn campaign. Even though Tennessee is not a border state, Republicans have settled on the idea that this is what resonates with their core voters. And so Blackburn, who's in a sort of close race with former Tennessee Governor Phil Bredesen, is closing out, not again with issues about the economy or about health care, but saying to people, look, if you don't have Republicans in control, we're going to be overrun with illegal immigrants. A lot of people have said that that's racist. It's certainly divisive at a minimum. And, you know, that is the way Republican consultants, both in Tennessee and I think nationwide, think that they're going to get their voters to be motivated to vote as opposed to some of these other issues.
All right, David Swerdlick, we will no doubt talk again potentially before Tuesday. Thanks so much for your time.
Thanks, Lynda.